taking over, that's a promise, not a threat.
Uppercut season off top, you stop breathing.
So, but I'm glad we confirmed that. So thank you. I saw something. I guess that was wrong. So thank God. But now we'll get into the next one. Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez, and I've been very once this fight was announced, I was excited because one thing about me, I'm a Shakur Stevenson fan. I've been a fan since the amateurs. I've met him in person a couple of times. Good dude. To me, he's just a solid fighter. I don't know if he's gonna be the next great that they try to say he's gonna be, but he's a really, really good fighter. So, and just the talent is there. So I'm hoping, think for good things for him, and this is going to be a hell of a fight. This is the fight that he needs against Oscar Valdez. A unification fight that a lot of us, I don't know when we was going to get, because I was hoping for this fight for a long time, and it didn't seem like it was in the cards. And now all of a sudden it just came out of nowhere, which is crazy to me. Pilot, how we talked about LB made the joke about how we can thank Crawford for this fight because of the lawsuit. I do wonder how much that is.
That was announced right after that shit happened, the day after.
Right after it was true, because they was talking for a minute they was talking Valdez versus what wasn't it Mariaga? They said Mariaga was coming up to
something like that.
Navarrete, wrong. Navarrete was going up to 130 and I was like, I'm good on that. I want to see him fight guys that are already at 130. I want to see this Shakur fight, and now we're finally getting it. So what I'm saying, I'm happy that we're getting it. It's gonna be a hell of a fight. They're loading up the undercard with prospects, of course, whether you like them or not. Nico Ali Walsh, for better or for worse, is going to get some shine on there.
Muratal is on there too.
And I don't know.
Keyshawn
Davis, yep. So, which everybody's high on Keyshawn. So it's always good to see Keyshawn.
Charlie Shihai too. He's kind of a nice young, so many lightweight prospects, but Shihai is supposedly pretty good.
Yeah, they definitely got a lot of prospects. So I'm gonna enjoy watching all of them. Maybe minus Nico Ali Wasp, but
what's funny? When I was coming out of the Edgar Berlanga fight, I looked to the side as I'm walking out. Nico Ali Walsh was literally right in front of me. We're walking out. I was like, oh shit, look at him right here. I could have asked him for a picture or something, or I could have talked to him, but I was like, nah. I'm good.
Yeah, I hear you. I think people just gotten to a point where people are just kind of getting a little tired of him, and then pushing the Ali story. You know how that's gonna go. Then with Nico, it's Muhammad. He comes with it's a package deal. So
no, my thing is, I honestly don't have a problem with him coming up off his grandfather's name, because at the end of the day, that's his lineage, that's his legacy, that's his blood. But what I do have a problem with is, the kid's just not good, man. This dude's getting airtime. I went to the Lomachenko-Comey fight, right? And so I saw Xander Zayas. He had a fantastic performance. And then, they after his fight, they made an announcement if you want to get beer or popcorn or a hot dog or something, do it now because we're going to have a little intermission. So that made me realize that Xander Zayas was off of ESPN regular TV. He was on, you had to have ESPN Plus to see that fight. But guess who was on ESPN? Mm-hmm. Nico Ali Walsh. You giving me... So, luckily, I was there at the fight, so I was going to watch either fight no matter what. But my point is, for the people at home who don't have the ESPN Plus app, they missed out on a sensational knockout that Xander Zayas had, and instead got Nico Ali Walsh fighting a fucking plumber.
Yeah, and a fight that he's not even looking good against plumbers. That's the funny part.
Oh.
You would at least think he would look amazing versus these plumbers, and he's not looking good even versus them.
My man is going through the whole union, man. Plumbers, iron workers, 32 BJ, all the unions he's going through.
At this rate, Joe Smith is going to have to send someone against him. So, Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I get it. And because that was something that with Nico that I was getting upset at because there's always been this big debate, and I know Pilot, we've had that on Ring Gang too, about Top Rank and promoting fighters versus self-promotion. And it's just you expect all these fighters to self-promote, and I get it. It's right. You should be able to promote yourself, but it's not like they show that they're doing a job to promote one fighter in Nico Ali. So why can't they do this with other fighters?
Yeah,
it really gets annoying with that.
It's a travesty. Keyshawn and Zayas don't get half of the promotion that Nico Ali Walsh does. It's a shame, but it's what it is. I mean, Ali's, his grandfather is the greatest of all time, so I guess comes with the territory.
Again, if they were burying him in undercards and just seeing what they had and building him up that way, I would be okay with it. Yeah. But the fact that he's getting airtime over some prospects who are probably going to be, champions, soon, I find that offensive. I find it disrespectful to the actual boxing fan. You're appealing to some fucking people who just so happen, to see this and may be interested, but they're not going to commit long term.
Exactly.
The reason they're starting to watch boxing because of Nico Ali Walsh. Now, if somebody's flicking the channel and they see Xander Zayas get a knockout or Keyshawn Davis or whoever, doesn't have to be a specific name, but that they may become a fan of that person because that person has a legit potential, has skills. But the kid is not that good, man.
He's not that, yeah. And in all of this, at least Keyshawn I think is the co-main for his fight against Esteban Sanchez. So that's good. At least he's not, at least Nico's not fucking co-main in the main event.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's always good to see Keyshawn because I'm also a fan of Keyshawn. I think the sky's the limit for him. He has the potential to be a very, very good fighter. So
very quickly, maybe.
It's going to be interesting. Although it is funny that people are already starting to already try to position him and Shakur, and they're like, "Oh no, that's Big Brother. I'll never fight him." And it's just
family tree right there.
I mean, they're different weight classes. Shakur at 130, Keyshawn at 135. So
Keyshawn's a big 135 too. He's a big lightweight.
Yeah, I mean, Shakur's going to move up to 135 eventually.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, he's not there yet. You know what I'm saying? And Keyshawn is still building up his name, while Shakur, if he was to move up to 135 in his next fight, I wouldn't be scared to throw him in with a Loma or T.O. or Haney or a Tank, any of those guys.
Which I think that will probably happen. I could see Shakur and Loma. That's perfect. That Top Rank would love to do something like that.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
And with that, we'll get into the main event. So, Pilot, what you think about this fight?
Well, back in last year when we did the pound for pound list, I went on a limb and put Oscar Valdez number 10, and I was really high on him. Even though he had his flaws, he had his heart and his grit and determination. This was obviously before the T scandal and the Robson robbery, right? But I've always liked him as a fighter. I think during the quarantine especially, he was bringing it too. So certain guys on Top Rank, when they had those quarantine cards, kind of stood out to me, like the Maloney brothers and Valdez. Even I think Shakur had lined the card. But anyways, when it comes to this matchup, I just feel like Shakur's just another level, and I don't think he's gonna stop him. Or I wouldn't be surprised, but I think he's gonna show a different level. But I also feel Oscar Valdez might test his chin. I feel like there's a chance Oscar might land with some heat. I mean, I don't know what y'all think, but do you think Shakur's not even gonna get in any deep waters for this fight?
Well, here's the thing, and I get it. We don't know what Shakur's chin is like, but it's I hate how that's always a negative. We don't know. It could be bad or it could be fine. I kind of always do the wait and see approach to see but it's people already want to start theorizing. Oh well, maybe this person can't take a punch. We don't know yet, but I mean, so I honestly I see Shakur taking away the left hook from Valdez. I don't know if he's really going to land it that much. So it's going to be interesting to see how much Valdez even lands on Shakur.
You think Valdez is even a pressure fighter for most of the fight? You think he's even pressing the action?
Well, Valdez sometimes doesn't like to press the action. And Shakur doesn't either. So it's like if he fights like he did with Herring, oh, that'll be a hell of a fight. But we've seen sometimes Shakur get a little passive, and the temperament, like his temperament's not always there. So it's going to be interesting to see which Shakur shows up and which Valdez shows up. Just don't bring the Valdez from the Conchio fight. We don't need that.
We don't need that. Yeah, we don't need that.
Because he, in my mind, I don't care. He lost that fight, even with all the T scandal. He lost that fight.
It was a bad one.
It's like I've never been super high on Valdez. Like I thought he's a good fighter, but he just has too many hiccups that like make me like the Mariaga fight. Like that was a big hiccup. Mariaga had him hurt, and it was like this was Mariaga that was getting destroyed before. He was already starting to get long in the tooth. It was just like he got destroyed. Like he hurt Valdez badly. And I was like, oh. And then it just started going more and more. He just started having these hiccups. And then once he had the hiccup against Adam Lopez, where Adam Lopez hurt him. Yeah, dropped him and hurt him. I'm like, I just don't know if this dude is it. I mean, like, I don't know if somebody a better boxer or even a puncher will take him out. And, he redeemed himself with the Burchelt fight. So, you got to I give him props for the Burchelt fight. But it's just like, there's always just that he's never consistent, and so it's hard to really pick with Valdez because you don't know which Valdez you're gonna get. So it'd be interesting. We'll see on Saturday. So yeah. What you think about this fight, Broadway?
Well, you guys mentioned the Conceição fight, and I like you two think Valdez lost that fight, and I can't help but notice the similarities in terms of pedigree in both Conceição and Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson's a silver medalist, Conceição's a gold medalist, and Conceição pretty much outboxed him. And he landed some shots too. Don't get me wrong, he did box a beautiful fight, but he was landing some hard shots, and I don't think Conceição is going to be he wasn't as active as I think Shakur would have been in that fight, landing those same shots. So I think that Shakur Stevenson is going to overwhelm Oscar Valdez with his speed and as well as his angles and boxing ability. And I'm picking Shakur stoppage. I'm going out on a limb. 11th round stoppage. I know Shakur's not a puncher. He did get a stoppage in his last fight though. I'm picking him. This guy, what's his name? Valdez is somebody who's gotten his jaw broken before. Yes, he fought through it. God bless him. He's a tough dude. But, I just think he's going to be so overwhelmed at times that he's going to get stopped. But I do think it's going to be a competitive fight. I don't think that it's going to be a fight necessarily that, Shakur just comes out there and dominates. I think Oscar Valdez has success early. Then Shakur gathers his rhythm, adjusts to what he's doing, and then starts overwhelming him with volume and angles and using his feet more to move around the ring.
Definitely. I could definitely see that. And I, like you, Joel, I'm saying the same exact thing. I think he's going to stop him in the 11th round. That's just 11th round KO. I think he's going to pressure him. I think he's going to really be more aggressive, more like, in the Herring fight.
He impressed me in that last fight. He really did impress me in that last fight. He did.
And I always thought he was going to beat Herring, but I honestly didn't even.
I feel like he had to do that because of the Nakatilia fight. So
I was just going to say that coming off the Nakatilia fight, who was expecting that performance? Right?
Yeah. And I think that actually might be one of the reasons why people are like worried about Shakur's chin now that I think about it. Because I remember like Shakur made the excuse of, oh well, he's a big puncher, so I didn't want to be reckless. And so like when you hear stuff like that, it makes you think, oh well, maybe this guy, can he take a punch? It makes you wonder when you're talking like that. It's like this guy is a guy that most people thought like, why is he gonna go 12 with him? He should get rid of him. Like try to go for the stoppage. But now it's funny, the Nakatilia fight looks even better now that Nakatilia just KO'd Burchelt.
God damn, he destroyed Burchelt.
So now that win actually looks better retroactively. So it's gonna be an interesting fight. I think Shakur is gonna be the winner, and I think he's, like you said, Joel, 11th round KO. He's going to be unified now, and that's big. So let me ask you this, Pilot. I got to ask you this.
Yeah.
You said you had Valdez in your top 10 pound for pound.
That was 2021. That was like
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
But if Shakur beats Valdez, would you consider, I'm not saying if you would, but would you consider putting him in your top 10 pound for pound? Out of curiosity.
The thing is to me, 11, even 10 to 15 are all interchangeable to me. I feel like for the most part. So yeah, I think you could put Shakur in the mix. But there's a lot of guys outside that, from 11 to 15 that you really, could put in there. Some guys have Fulton on there, some guys don't have Fulton on there. Prematurely speaking, I know even the Haney Kambosos fight. Does Haney get some claim if he does the winner of that Kambosos Haney fight get some looks on there? But yeah, Shakur, I mean, we all know what he's potentially destined for. If he dominates like he can, I don't see why entering number 10 wouldn't be out the realm of possibility.
Okay, that's an interesting take. I was just wondering about. Broadway Ring Gang. We all do our own pound for pound list, so that's kind of always a thing with us. So I don't know how you are, because I know some people are just they don't care about pound for pound. Some people actually do put some thought into it and actually do put some credence into it. I don't know what your position is on pound for pound and making pound for pound list.
I do. I'm okay with making pound for pound lists, but when people be making 15, top 20, I'm like, damn, you really got to put a lot of effort into thinking. But no, I don't think that a win over Valdez puts him in the pound for pound list. I speak about this all the time on my channel, man. We're living in a golden era in boxing, and it's hard for us to realize, since we're living in the moment. But when when you look at the landscape of the fights we're getting a lot of good fights. And within those good fights, a lot of guys are building their legacy, whether it be Usyk or Canelo or Inoue or Crawford or Spence. There's a lot of guys that, you can't even put on the same list as a Shakur Stevenson. That's just off the top of my head. I just mentioned 5 guys. So, no, but not because he's not talented. It's just, his resume isn't up there yet. It's that would be his biggest win. Herring would be his second win. Biggest win. Put him top 10 pound for pound. I don't see that.
Yeah, I wouldn't put him top 10 either. I think some people want to do it because you have the eye test. So people look at okay, well, it's not only they look at the resume and then just how he looks. And you think with a guy like Shakur's pedigree that he should be in a pound for pound list. So it's some people might be inclined to shoehorn him in there. But I agree, I wouldn't put him top 10.
Well, I've seen Boots on some pound for pound lists.
Nah, come on.
I'm just saying, not me. I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying. That's kind of ridiculous.
You can tell me I'm predicting in the future Boots is going to be number 1. You can tell me that and you won't get a debate from me. But when you're telling me, I already have him number 7, it's ridiculous. His best win is what? Lipinets?
Yeah, right.
Come on, man. Let's relax. Let these guys prove themselves. Who knows? What if Boots Ennis has a glass chin? I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. But can we find out? Let this play out. He has a fight coming up against Castillo Clayton, another undefeated fighter. Who knows how that turns out? I'm picking Boots, but my point is, we have to see he has to earn his way on the pound for pound.
No, absolutely. It is. I don't think Boots has a glass chin though, because I know he took some shots from Delorme can punch. There's one thing about Tomas Delorme is he can punch, and I don't think Ennis's chin is bad. So.
No. I wasn't saying that. I'm just saying we don't I don't think he's been past 7 rounds or 8 rounds or something like that. Does he gas out? I don't know. A lot of people just want to go based off the eye test, and yeah, that's cool. But I'm pretty sure Pilot and you have had the eye test on somebody, a prospect, and go, whoa, that guy's can't miss, and end up being dog shit.
Yeah.
Or not necessarily dog shit, but he was okay. Not that it's funny you brought up Thomas Delorme. I was really high on Thomas Delorme. I thought he was going to be a big star. Didn't pan out the way I thought. Another guy who I thought was going to be a big star is David Lemieux. I thought he was going to be the next middleweight killer. Didn't pan out that way. So it's just let these guys prove themselves before we add them to pound for pound lists.
Oh no, I can completely understand that because I've had my share of misses of this guy looks like he's the goods, and then when he actually it's time to prove it, yeah, he don't like. I was the biggest. I was when he came out, I was the biggest J-Rock supporter. I was like, J-Rock is gonna be that guy, and then to come to find out, you know, when he faces Charlo, that the chin isn't there, and it's like, well, nah.
Yeah, that was kind of like Lubin for me a little bit.
Yeah, everybody has them. Everybody has them. But my point is like, that's why we can't just jump out the window. Yo, this guy's number 9 pound for pound. Like, whoa, like who the fuck has he beat?
I think it comes down to like, here's what I think kind of plays into it. And unfortunately, it's not just boxing. This is kind of like a word, like in sports, and we'll get into the draft later. But like when it comes to like drafting players in football, baseball, basketball, like everybody wants. We're in the era where everybody would rather be first than be right.
The potential, yeah.
So they'll see it and they'll just want to just jump on the bandwagon before anybody else to say, "Oh, I was there from the beginning." But you don't really know how their career is going to pan out. They look great, but then when it comes time to step up, they could show they weren't all that good. Like, let it happen first before you just try to
like Lil B-Hop, Chris Colbert. Not saying he was ever going to be on the pound for pound list, but everybody, he was headlining Showtime shows and he got schooled by Hector Luis Garcia.
My Dominican brother.
Dominican brother. Shout out.
who Joel interviewed as well.
Of course. Listen, of course. Like, you know, if he's Dominican, he's been on my channel. He's been on the channel, man. He's been on the channel. Trust that.
Yeah.
Trust me.
I hear you. Although it is funny because with like Colbert, I was saying this the other day, like with Shakur, I feel like Shakur doesn't have that rival that like I feel like having a rival makes things better in boxing to like to elevate kind of like a story. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't have a rival, and I felt like Colbert, they were trying to make him Shakur's rival, and then your Dominican brother put an end to that.
Yeah, for sure. He definitely did. To me, Chris Colbert is the best trash talk in all of boxing. Like, whether you believe in his skills or not, that's subject to your own opinion. You know, I'm not gonna judge you on whether you think he's the goods or not. What I will say is though, his trash talking game is on 1,000.
Yeah, he could talk a lot of shit.
Yeah. No, he does talk a lot of shit. He had everybody mad at him over the Wilder shit. Like,
yeah, that's not the OnlyFans his fight week. Just talking shit.
Oh Lord. Damn. So we'll see though with Shakur. Although I know I'm gonna have a couple of people, if Shakur loses, is he still Puerto Rican? Like, oh my god.
That's from Polo, right? Polo actually.
Yeah, Paul. He's not the only one, but he's the main one that was like that. When Valdez beat Shakur, is he Puerto Rican? I'm like, listen, for me, I'm Puerto Rican. And if somebody's half Puerto Rican, I don't care if you're half Puerto Rican and you say you're Puerto Rican, I'm gonna say you're Puerto Rican. It's cool. Like, I don't gatekeep with the Puerto Rican shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And people try to like make it seem like, oh, he's just pandering, trying to get in the fan base. But yo, if your pops is Puerto Rican or your mother, I don't know which
his father.
If your father's Puerto Rican, like what's wrong with you claiming what your father is? And that makes him part of you. I really don't understand. That's some real like dumb shit people be doing.
Because his father he didn't really know his father, so like he had a stepfather. So but like he didn't really grow up around his father like that. So but he didn't really know his Puerto Rican roots. Like, but he knew he had them. So it's like now it's like, you know what? Like he grew up. Now he wants to acknowledge that. And like it was the same thing with Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony, half Puerto Rican. He grows up. He's like, he's acknowledging his Rican roots, and there's nothing wrong with that. People are idiots with that. I try not to. It's dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? If the man wants to say he's Puerto Rican, he's Puerto Rican. That's his right. I'm not gonna gatekeep him. So it's weird to me. So, but I'm hoping all these fights are good. You know what I'm saying? It should be a good weekend of boxing.
Facts. Good next month. Look, after this weekend, we got Canelo versus Bivol. Then the week after that, we got Charlo versus Castaño with Boots Ennis versus Castillo Clayton on the undercard. It's gonna be a nice run of fights these next few weeks.
Then after that was it Joe Smith and Better Biev. Isn't that in June? That's in June.
That's in June. We also got Haney Cambosos in June.
Yeah.
We got Tank versus Rolly. I believe is May 28. Like, bro, we got a run of fights. A run of fights.
And Pilot, that June 25th card that you showed me was like Sor Rungvisai and Bam Rodriguez, Martinez Arroyo, like
MJ fighting Arroyo, right? Yeah, that shit's fire.
Yeah, that's a fight I wouldn't mind hopping on the plane to go see live. Unfortunately, I'm not. I can't do that right now with my circumstances and what's going on right now in my life. But that's that card.
It's a hardcore card, yeah.
Very impressive.
And I just saw Berlanga's fighting Angulo. That just got announced like
Alfredo Angulo
a few minutes ago. Yeah, a few minutes
ago. Damn! How the hell the commission sanctioned something like that?
No, Alexis, my fault. Alexis Angulo, my fault. Alexis.
Oh, I was gonna say, Alfredo Angulo.
You King P, you was about to go viral right now. The fucking, I was about to go crazy. Oh my god! You almost gave me a heart attack.
Yo, don't do that to me, Pilot. But I did just see that. You are right. Berlanga versus Alexis Angulo at Hulu Theater. Oh, because for June, which they always want to have Puerto Ricans in June, so that makes sense.
Even a Puerto Rican Day parade.
Yes, it is. So that makes sense, and we'll see how Berlanga does, because everybody's kind of soured on Berlanga, for better or for worse.
So this is the same guy that fought Benavidez, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I believe he did, actually. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. He just lost to Benavidez 2020.
Okay.
You are right.
He's an old guy. Ain't he like?
And Zerdo. He lost to
Ain't he
Zerdo.
Like in his 40s?
He lost to Zerdo. He's 38, but he's Colombian, so he's 38 though.
Oh yeah.
He's saying he is in his 40s. That's what you're saying?
Yeah. 38. He's 38. So I mean, he is very long in the tooth. So I mean. Colombians can punch though. That's the thing.
Yeah, for real. You remember Edison Miranda? Yeah,
my!
He used to put people out.
Yup. Ward always said he was one of the toughest when it comes to punching power, because his power was just unbelievable.
He had a knockout of the year. I want to say it was 2006, 7. Don't quote me on the year. Where it was on ESPN. He knocked the dude out cold, and the dude fell out the ring. Like it was one of the scariest knockouts you'll see. That's one thing. He was chinny, but he was putting people out. If you got bad defense, it was gonna be a night for you to remember.
Actually, I know which fight you're talking about. It was David Banks. That's who it was. I actually remember seeing that fight, and I remember like watching a clip of it like not too long ago. It popped up. I like to be looking at old KO knockouts shit, and that came up. So I actually do remember he did knock him through the fucking rope.
Bro, that was a scary knockout, man. That was a sick knockout.
Anytime you see somebody go through the ropes, I'm just like, damn, I'm just hoping that everything is good with them. So
for real.
So we got a good lineup coming, the next 2 months, and then who knows in July. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of rumors, a lot of talk. So you know what I'm saying? Like Crawford's supposed to be back in July because he's gonna take a fight in the summertime before Spence. So you know what I'm saying? We'll see what happens there.
One time.
That's what I want. I want Crawford and Thurman. I would love that. So
man, I don't want Crawford to take no fights. Give me Spence Crawford. Give me that fight right now, man. Give me that next fight.
But like, so you would want him fighting Spence coming off a year of inactivity? Just
he last fought in November. Make the fight in August.
I don't think it's gonna happen that early. Like if it happened, it would probably happen like October, November, December, end of the year.
I mean, hey, listen, I'll take it, and he's gonna stop Thurman with a body shot if that fight ever happens. But I just don't want no possible hiccups, man. We waited long enough for this fight.
I mean, well, if Crawford is who he says who we think he is, and he is, in my opinion, I don't think we'll see a hiccup. So I'm cool either way. But that remains to be seen. So what I'm saying, we'll see how everything unravels. But You know what I'm saying? Let's hope for some more good boxing.